So, welcome and hello to my first gap year webinar. Way, who knew? So this is really exciting, and I really appreciate you signing up and taking the time to tune in tonight to find out more about planning one's child's gap year, which is never that straightforward. So who am I? I'm Millie. I set up the Leap with my husband about 20 odd years ago now. And so in that time, wow, I've seen the gap year come in and out of fashion, changes, it changes the kind of vibe, which country they go to, what's trending, what's not. But what I find right now, where we are with the development with AI and everything, the gap year has never been more important if it is used well. So I'm now really on my high horse and really passionate about gap years and these students and becoming really just like these kids, a gap year of old, like back in our day. Well, actually, you're much younger than me, but we just used to go kind of backpacking around Asia and just island hopping, and that's what the kids since COVID have been doing. You know, Asia is it, backpacking, just how many cocktails can you drink in one night? Now, there is a place for that. That is called fun, that is called freedom, that is just called wicked, just great. But with the decline of graduate jobs, what was the kind of statistic that was in the paper the other weekend? 40 odd percent of graduate jobs are now gone because of AI. The, our kids have got to find ways to put themselves forward, to make their CV and their applications sparkle. So they've got to be really strategic with their gap year. And yes, they can do the cocktail hunting. Okay, there is a place for that. But nobody wants to hear about that apart from their friends. That is of no use to them when it comes to their CVs or their university applications. Absolutely no use. And if an employee says, "Did you take a gap year?" and they go, "Yes, I did." And what did you do? "Oh, I went traveling around Asia." They literally, if I received that CV, they'll get 0 points. It would not go much further. It's just like, really, is that how you spent your time gallivanting around? It's just like, mm, it's not creative enough. It's not saying anything really positive about them. So with so so with that in mind, I strongly, would recommend that you help your kids choose just one thing on their gap year that sets them apart, that really challenges them, pushes them out of their comfort zone. They can gain work experience, they can gain life skills. So I'll come back to that and how, as an example, how the Leap would do that for them. But right now, I want to just kind of talk about how a typical gap year is planned, okay? What it looks like in its length of time. Because all you got kids that are about to leave school, where are they in their decision making?
No, mine's year 12, so she's not quite there yet.
Oh my God, Joanna, you really are eager beaver. You,
Well,
she'd be useful. She'd be useful for this talk would be useful for the under 18 program.
well, no, she's too busy. She's too busy with that. The problem is she's so crazy, crazy, crazy busy. I think actually sometimes you need to go, we actually need to plan these things because otherwise she fills up her time totally.
Amazing. Okay, and everybody else, are you got kids that are about to fall into their gap year? Where are they?
Where are they? A levels.
Okay, so gap year next year.
Mm.
And mine just can't make her
And
mind
mine
up.
just can't make her mind up. It changes daily.
It changes daily.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that they're all taking a gap year. So, and what that gap year looks like, because you're all going to have these kitchen table conversations where they're going to go, okay, I am going to take a gap year, or university makes the decision for them, and you're all going to go, right, 18 months. Oh my God, that is such a long time. How do we carve it up? So historically, how people have carved up their time is, and I can send you a little brochure on this, which has got a visual, is they're going to finish school, they're going to go nuts, they're going to go crazy, they're going to go on their end of term parties, aren't they? Go to somewhere hideous like Zante or Lanzarote, wherever they end up. Great. They're going to have a fabulous summer, brilliant. But come September the 1st, we as parents are so indoctrinated that September the 1st means new shoes, new pencils, new phase, that they've got to be aligned with that. Because if you're looking at them sitting on your sofa by the end of September, you might just lock them away in a cupboard. Okay, it's not going to be good for family dynamics. So yes, let them have that great summer, but their objective through that great summer is to get a job which starts at the first week or two of September. Okay, and nobody cares what that job is, because their main objective is to earn the minimum wage per hour. Okay, and they are to just get down and dirty, and if that's working in Tesco's, if that's working in the bins. I've got friends' kids that did that, you know, became the kind of the binman and got up at 4 a.m. and raced around, you know, because like they earn double. You know, it's their objective is to earn as much money as possible. Okay, so that should take them up till Christmas, and that's their goal. Come January the 1st, no gap year student wants to be in England, because they'll see all their friends flying the nest, going to the sunny places. And if they're stuck in England, then you're going to get the downy turny smile. And it's just like, oh no, you know, this is not good. Oh, look, all my friends are on the beach in Bali and they're still stacking their shelves. So that is the time for them to leave this country and start off with the one thing that is going to be the experience that is going to provide them with the evidence required that is useful for them for future CVs and, you know, university applications. One thing. Okay. Now that can be doing something like the Leap. That's obvious. That's why I'm here. But a chalet girl, doing the ski season, just volunteering anywhere in the world, climbing about a mountain, doing some adventurous challenge which they've had to plan and execute. Okay. And what those things do is it gives them evidence. The goal of that, okay, is what you want them to be able to do is sit there in an interview and the interviewer goes, show me an example of leadership. And they could go, oh my God, yes, I was in Kenya and I was working for Oceans Alive, and we had to build a Geco stove, and it was 35 degrees heat, but this Geco stove for this particular family in the middle of a coastal village had only an open fire, which was really bad for their health and so dangerous. So we built them this wonderful Geco stove, and I led a team of 5, and we got all the materials, we sourced it in the market, we collected all the water, and we nailed it. Now that's quite impressive. I think that's really good. That to me would make me wake up and think, yeah, I like that. Okay, awesome. Then the conversation flows. Give me a communication. Give me an example of your good communication skills. Again, You know, I was in Cambodia and I was teaching a group of kids and they couldn't speak English, and this is how I overcome it. Brilliant. We like this. This is giving, big ticks. You know, um, are you a completer finisher? Oh, yes. Here's another example. Are you a problem solver? Oh, definitely. Okay. So this phase, the beginning of their traveling phase, is they need to gain work experience overseas, which gives them those transferable life skills. Okay, that is their main objective. And they probably don't understand that, but they will in hindsight. So as parents, we've got to encourage them that it's a, the right thing to do. So for example, about how we do it with the Leap is we curate these 4-week programs, and it's work experience and and personal development disguised under adventure. Okay, they do know they're doing it, but they're going to be volunteering, they're going to be problem solving, they're going to be doing all those testing all those soft skills through doing turtle conservation, wildlife conservation, adventure, zip wiring, bungee jumping, um, building Geco stoves, all those things, you know, that is what they are going to do. It delivers it, it's kind of work experience and personal development through all those fun and enticing things. We know what they're getting out of it. They just think they're signing up for one hell of an adventure, which it is. A ski season. Okay, let's talk about what a ski season looked like. I used to think, oh God, ski seasons are so lame. But then my nephew and cousin, nephews all did it. And it's like, Jesus, that is such hard work. They have to be so organized. They have to, if they're running a chalet, they have to learn to cook. They've got to learn to be so time efficient. Their customer face-to-face skills have got to be brilliant because they're looking after these really demanding clients that, in their chalet. It's really intense. I think doing a chalet season is brilliant. Really, really brilliant. If you did a ski season and something like the Leap, wow, that would be, I think, a great gap year. And then afterwards you add on kind of independent travel, which is great fun, but no one needs to hear about. So going back to the timeline, September to Christmas, doing a job, earning money. January, February, doing something useful, which is CV worthy. After that, you add on a phase of independent travel, which is probably another 2 months. Then what will happen is they get backpackers fatigue, which I promise you is a real thing. They wake up one morning and think, that's it, I've had enough. I've had enough of backpacking and hostel living. I'm off home. And they literally change their flights and home they come. So you never know when one never knows in oneself when that moment hits. But I've got 2 boys, and I remember distinctly, I said to my husband, it's coming. You wait, you wait. They think they're, going to go off now to Brazil. And my youngest rang up and said, no, that's it, Mum. I'm absolutely knackered. I can't face another country. I'm done. I'm coming home. And he'd been away for 6 months, but he knew in his heart of hearts that was it and it was over. And it's a thing. It's called backpackers fatigue. Then they should come home, get back to that job and earn the money and get ready, have a lovely summer and get ready for university or whatever comes next. So that is the kind of ultimate goal. I think that is the best timeline of events for a perfectly planned gap year. Perfectly planned, as in divvied up the time, but doing making sure that there is one thing, one nugget of time within that really resonates for their future, really tests them, really pushes them out of their comfort zone and makes them think, hey, I did that. That was awesome. Because through the challenge, they really grow. And I've seen that time and time again. So any questions so far? Because I do have the propensity to right royally ramble on. So any questions?
No, it sounds good.
Yeah.
No,
Am
so
I holding your attention?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. So, um, does anybody want to know about the other about the different continents to travel in? That's quite an interesting one. For a backpacker, the kind of obvious continents are the continent going to Africa, Central South America, or Asia. Those are the Gapper favorites. Okay. So if I was kind of putting them on a kind of level of challenge, Africa is the hardest continent to travel around. Then Central South America, then Asia. Asia being the easy peasiest. Okay, it's so easy. It's all completely set up for backpackers. But the challenge, I always think, comes from the hardest. And I think Africa, a lot of people are kind of scared by Africa. They just think, really, how do you do it? But there are ways to do it, and Leap in Kenya is very popular in January, and then people really gain in confidence and then jump from Kenya to Tanzania, often down to Malawi. It needs flights to link the countries, but it's a fabulous, fabulous backpacking experience. But you definitely have to do it with a friend, the backpacking through that. Central and South America is wonderful. I'm a big fan, especially of countries like Peru. Oh my God, I could stay there forever. And a lot of people, the key advice to give a gapper is 1 month, one country. Okay, that's a little snippet. 1 month, one country, because then they really, what you don't want is just like, oh yeah, and we're going to go through Peru, we've only got 10 days in there. It's like, well, what the hell's that? That's nothing. That if you've got 1 month in Peru, for example, you can explore the Sacred Valley, you can explore the Amazon, you can explore Rainbow Mountain, go down to Lake Titicaca, you've got and the Calca Valley. You've got all those areas and all those contrasting adventures, which would be a month is a perfect length of time to do that. So if they were going for 3 months and they were going to South America, I would say that Bolivia, Peru, and Colombia, fantastic countries to link together. Fly, fly, flight. If you're in Central America, Costa Rica, Guatemala, and Belize actually is now really, really popular. Another one that's coming up, which is very popular, and I'm absolutely, as I was talking, I thought, I'm having a mental drop. I've now forgotten what the country is called, literally above. It will come to me. It's called Middle Age, isn't it? Literally have a drop. My son traveled there last year, and now for the death of me, life of me, I can't think of it. Anyway, it's just above Costa Rica. So three months, three countries is a good rule to have. In Asia, Thailand, Costa Rica, Vietnam, everyone's really popular. Going to Bali at the end is also really popular. I don't know why, because it's an absolute beast to get to, and it's an expensive flight. And they always go at the end of their gap year for all the kind of wild and crazy beach parties. But the beaches are horrible. They're covered in plastic, and it's the rainy season, kind of in April, in May, June. I don't get it. I mean, you just tell them from me. I spoke to this mad old lady that couldn't remember a country in Central America, and she told me that is not the right time of year to go, midway through your gap year. And let me tell you, Bali's just, it's very overdone. So those are the three main continents. And if they're going, my advice would be choose your continent, start off with something useful, and then independently travel beyond that particular country, but remain on that continent. What a lot of people do is waste a lot of money by going, oh, I'm going to go to Asia, I'm going to volunteer in Asia, then I'm going to go to Central South America backpacking. It's like, no, that's silly. That's an absolute waste of a time because you're wasting too much money on flights. So keep focused is the message. Okay. The other question that a lot of people have that like to kind of ponder on is safety. Okay. Especially us mums. That is just like, really? Am I saying goodbye to my kid at Heathrow Airport and that's it? I'm going to not see them for 6 months. Well, we are, and it is scary. And it is a kind of leap of faith, literally, as you wave them goodbye. And you just hope they're going to be savvy. And that's why a lot of people, especially mothers of daughters, but actually I'm a mother of sons and I know how idiotic they can be, is actually making them do something structured to begin with is a really sensible use of time. And I know a lot of parents often say to them, I want you to do this. I want you to do the leap. I will pay for something like the leap and you pay for the independent travel because we know A, it's going to be beneficial for them long term with their soft skills, but B, and it might be the most important thing for you, is that they're going to be taught how to be travel savvy. They're going to learn the ropes under the umbrella of us. So, for example, we got a leaper yesterday who thought it was a really good idea to get on the back of someone's motorbike. I mean, what did they think? At what point did they think that is a good idea? Anyway, luckily, it's a rookie error that everyone's going to make these stupid decisions. But we were there to pick up the pieces and talk to her parents. She's absolutely fine. She's just got one of those burns, those we used to get, didn't we all get them in the 80s on the back of mopeds, one of those burns. And she's absolutely fine, but it gave her the opportunity and to all the others, just like that decision was the worst decision that you could possibly make. What was your motive? Why, at what point did you think that was a sensible idea? And you lot and us lot as parents, no. We nag our kids to please don't do that, please don't do that. And they never listen to us. But to have a guide who they really respect to actually, and then me ringing them up saying, at what point did you think that was a good idea? Everything about that was the worst idea. Just sit them all the others down. And should we talk about the consequences of how that could have gone so stratospherically wrong? I mean, you met this guy in the bar for 1 hour. He bought you loads of drinks. You get on the back of his bike, and then what? Thank God you fell off, is all I can say. And it's like, hello, but it's, that lesson, now 24 people have learned that lesson in Costa Rica, that was a really stupid thing, and they've seen it up close and personal. And I think that is a really useful, when things go bad, when things go wrong, it's actually a really good lesson for everybody. Luckily, it didn't go that badly wrong, but it's really valuable. I can guarantee nobody out of that group now will go on the back of someone's bike, in the dark after a few drinks. I mean, really. Anyway, there we go. That was what I had to deal with today. So from a safety point of view, getting back to the positives, from a safety point of view, it's really useful to do a kind of structured kind of program, because they're going to learn, if they're going to learn hard lessons, they've got a safety net behind them. And they do, they do become much savvier. It's little things like bartering, learning to trust their gut instinct. that's really important to me. And I give them a briefing before all our leapers go, is trust your gut, because your gut is, is always right. If a bus comes up and you look the driver in the eye and you think, oh God, you look like you've had a few drinks, don't get on the bus. It's simple things like that. If you thought it, if there's a slight niggle in your brain, you're guaranteed to be right. So, but it takes time and confidence for people to understand what that really means. So that's always a really good skill for them to learn. And travel is an amazing experience. And if your daughter is thinking, do I take a gap year or not? I clearly advocate gap years. I always have, but more so now because life is long. Going to university, there are a clear divide between those that have and those that haven't. And one will find oneself thinking, oh my God, everyone else has taken a gap year. I can't share in those stories. It does happen. It's really interesting. And they're older. They're a year older and wiser. And those that don't feel younger in not just in age, but in experience. And, it is quite interesting. So I highly recommend it. And when else do you have a year in your life where you can do crazy, interesting, wacky things? And when they say, I'm not going to take a gap year, I'm going to take one after university, let me tell you, you won't want that. By the time they finish university, you'll be so sick and tired of them scrounging, eating the contents of your fridge, always being broke. They've got debt. The whole thing goes pear-shaped. They need to be up and out and getting a job. And, when they say, oh, no, I'm going to go traveling for 6 months, I tell you, when my eldest said that to me, I wanted to weep into my supper. I was just like, no, that is so not happening. You are off our books. You're getting a job. Goodbye. Get on with it. Fun's over. So I always feel I feel kinder when they've left when they've left school in that phase. Because it's a contained year, it won't just drag on, and you can construct it and make it a really valuable chunk of time. So I'm a big pro. Go Gap is what I say. Anyway, any questions so far? No?
Do you have more structured programs where they can work for a bit longer?
No, we only do 4-week programs.
Okay.
For gappers. And we do that for a reason. In that we've oh my God, I've got a full delay. Can you hear me? Am I repeating? Am I coming back into your room? Okay, Sophia, could you put me on mute? Oh, there we go. Is we do 4-week programs for a reason, because of the intensity and the pace. So in that 4 weeks, they arrive as a team. So leapers arrive as a unit, and we organize it so everyone's pretty much on the same flight, or steer them in if they're coming from elsewhere. They don't know each other. Maybe they've got one friend, but usually they don't know each other. The first week, it's all about, okay, we're getting into this. We don't know each other. We're going to learn, get into our groove, get over the jet lag, the temperature, start. It started. The second week, they're finding their feet. The third week, they're getting a little bit tired. And morale's kind of like, oh my God, I'm knackered. We haven't had a day off. We've been volunteering all day or adventuring or whatever we're doing. And then suddenly it gets to the end of the third week and they're like, Jesus, we've only got 1 more week to go. So morale picks up again. And they're like, right, we've got to make the most of every single day. And then they end on a complete high. We've done 8-week programs. We've done multi-country programs. We've done 6-week programs. And our sweet spot is the 4 weeks. that's our sweet spot, because we encourage them to then add on a phase of independent travel. And
So what's the sort of mix of like sort of fun and volunteering?
each program is different. Each program has its own kind of level of personality, but it's the fun is through it all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Costa Rica, for example. Let's start with Costa Rica. Okay, so they arrive in San Jose. They go down to Quipos, which is, at on the coast, on the Pacific coast. They're all staying in a finca with a swimming pool and a kind of barbecue area, badminton, the jungle around them. And, they're just like, oh, hello, you're going to be my friends for 4 weeks. Yes, we are. So they go hiking into the jungle on one particular morning. They do the waterfall hike another morning. They go down on 2 particular days down to our project, where they work in the Fishing Villages Community Centre. They're doing renovations, they're painting, they're playing with the kids, and that probably takes 2/3 of their day. And then they'll go swimming in the sea. Then they'll go back to the finca, have a few drinks over supper, games, cards, whatever they need to do. That's phase 1. Then they go to Natua, which is the wildlife centre. They all complain. It's hot and grim. This is their real challenge. They've got to get up at about 5:30 in the morning. They've got to be feeding the animals, and they're doing all the kind of animal cleaning, till about lunchtime. And then they've got the afternoons off. And then they can go to the river and go swimming in the river and chilling. And then it's early to bed, repeat, repeat. Then they go to Monteverde for 4 days, where this is their adventure phase. In the mornings, they're zip wiring and bungee jumping. And then in the afternoons, they're kind of hiking through the jungle, and there's no project work, it's just adventure. Then they go down to Santa Teresa at the end, where we had 2 guides that were here today that were like, and they are knackered when they get to Santa Teresa. So there they do a bit of surfing, they do some yoga, they do a bit of community work if we could persuade them. And then, it's kind of chilling out because they haven't had a day off really until here. And then they go to Serenas, the turtle sanctuary, for 2 nights, 3 days to work there, hopefully see a turtle and, build the nests and learn about all that. Back to Santa Teresa, party, go.
And are all the sort of like the zip wire and the bungee jumping, is that included in the price?
No, so the zip wire and the bungee jump isn't. So the optional extras in Costa Rica of the adventure, all the others adventures is included. So the zip wire isn't, the bungee jump isn't. Most people don't do the bungee. They just do the zip wire, because the zip wire has a Tarzan swing at the end, which is just like a free fall experience. And then the other adventure that they love to do is when they're at Santa Teresa is to go on a Tortuga boat ride, which is a boat that goes out to sea to a lovely island, and they see the dolphins and all the wildlife.
Oh. So they can pay for that, can they, at the time, or do you need to pre-book that?
No. They make all those decisions when they're there.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's really fun. So, so that's what to them, they're doing the volunteering and the adventure. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's fun. Yeah. We know that actually doing that wildlife conservation, where they've got to get up at 5:30 in the morning, that shows they're resilient. They can face up to challenges. The turtle conservation, again, that is teamwork with what they've got to do, because they have to ferry all the new sand into the nest area and create a lot of nests. So that's a fantastic teamwork example. The communication with the school, the kids. Do you see how it translates?
And sorry, how does it work with like somebody being in charge, so to speak?
Oh,
because
yes.
do you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah. Who's guiding them? Who's in charge? Who's managing these teenagers?
Who's taking them to all these Yeah.
So in each country, so we work in 6 different countries now, and we have our partners there who are the LEAP in country. So in Costa Rica, You've got Chris and his lovely wife and his whole team that run a company called Jacarra. Their home is called Jacarra, which is in Santa Teresa. So that's where our center of the universe is. And when they're going around, they've got LEAP guides who are with them throughout their entire journey, picking them up from the airport, taking them to each phase. Yeah. And they are, at the moment, our guides are Mike and Val. They're Costa Rican. Mike is about 35. Val is late 20s. They're fully kind of certified guides. They know the country inside out. They know about personal development. They know about teenage behavior. They've seen it all. So that's who we've got there. In Kenya, we've got the 3Js, Joseph, Juma, and Janet. And everybody absolutely loves them. And they run all our programs. But above that, you've got Des and Tilda Bowden, who run Oceans Alive and the whole operations. So you've got a whole structure in each country that are running the ops, and I'm running the ops with my team here with them. So I'm on duty 24/7, annoyingly, but I get, if there was a problem, my phone goes whenever. You get the emergency number and off it goes. And and I get daily updates from the guides of exactly what is happening, who's home. The kind of typical problems are someone might get sickness and diarrhea, homesickness, not settling, not feeling part of it. Those are the kind of obvious things that we have to kind of look at. We manage in the first week, and the good guides, they can work through that. And I've seen a lot of homesickness, a lot, and people just like, whoa, this challenge is too great. And we can encourage them to hold on to their underpants and just hold on there. We've seen this. You can do this. It will be okay. You will settle down. And usually they do. And for me, those are the greatest. That's what we had a conversation not so long ago. What does success look like for us in the company? And success for me is kids overcoming challenges and feeling really good about themselves at the end. Is that personal growth? I can bang on about UCAS and transferable skills, but the personal growth, that gives me, that's what makes me do the leap.
Yeah. Oh no, that sounds brilliant.
So if any of you want to have a one-to-one with me, talking about your particular child and which would be the best fit for them, because with the leap, each country has its own personality and its own combination of challenges. And Kenya versus Costa Rica. Costa Rica, you're on the move the whole time. Every week your backpack's packed, different beds, different things, you're on the move. Whereas Kenya, you're in the same place for 4 weeks. Now, for some people, getting, that they would thrive better in an environment where they are in one place for 4 weeks, doing different things every day, but it's more grounded rather than the road trip feeling vibe. Does that make any sense?
So, just 2 other questions before I forget.
Yeah.
What's the accommodation like, and what happens regarding food?
Okay. Well, the accommodation varies in every single place. And sometimes the kids are going to go, oh, are we really in Natua in this wildlife sanctuary in a room where we all 15 of us are in a long kind of barn style room in bunk beds? And it's like, yeah, you are. You're here for 4 nights. Now get on with it. And then the next week they're in Santa Teresa in the Monkey House, which is uber cool hostel. So you're gonna get a bit of everything, but it's all nice. Okay, they're gonna get.
I need to go.
Bye. They're gonna get clean sheets. They're gonna get showers, and it's not, they're not camping out in the wilderness.
So they don't need to bring, so they need to bring sleeping bags?
No,
No, okay.
no, all that's provided. And the food, that's kind of provided. I mean, sometimes they don't like it, but it's honestly, it's good food. It's good food. Yeah, in Costa Rica, I don't know why I keep talking about Costa Rica and Kenya. I mean, I'm going to talk about another country. In Asia, in Cambodia, the food is utterly delicious. I mean, the Cambodians, they really know their fresh, delicious Asian food. I mean, yum. In Kenya, you're going to get Western food because they've got fab cooks in the house. And, if the spaghetti bolognese is their thing, they can have spaghetti bolognese. But again, they love cooking curries. They love cooking samosas. They love, they love pasta. So in each country, that again comes down to the personality of each country. But don't worry about that in part of the decision making, because it's not supposed to be part of the challenge. Making a decision on which country to go to, make it on the projects, whether that sings to your kid, the level of challenge, and which continent they want to go to. Is it Asia? Is it the kind of the markets of Asia, or is it the kind of what beach, the Indian Ocean in Kenya, or is it in Peru, the Andes that they want to see? They will know by just looking at the pictures, not overthinking it. They will look at the pictures and go, that's me. That's where I want to be. That's what I want to do.
Oh, thank you.
That's my pleasure. So what's your name? Because you haven't got a name. So with Zoe,
Alex.
Alex. Zoe's going to ask me tomorrow, who's turned up?
Oh, so I didn't know it didn't come up on my phone.
No, so it's Alex.
Yeah.
Alex and Penny and Sophia. Great. So is this been helpful? Is this
really helpful?
Really helpful. Okay, so it's worth me doing again.
Yeah, definitely.
Would you have liked to, because we argued about it today in the office, would you have liked to have done an official slide presentation?
No.
Thank God for that, because I don't know how to work them. I would have pressed the wrong button and you would have all disappeared. So but I suppose the end, my overriding message is to plan with purpose. Okay, make the most of this opportunity, because it's a privileged opportunity to take a year out of life. Like, it's never going to happen again.
No.
I'm now 56, and I've never taken a year out of my life since my gap year, sadly. Anyway, so it is an amazing opportunity, but they need to, because of AI and the competition for jobs, they need to add a strategic element into it so they jump ahead of their peers, so they stand out from their peers. And that's just, they've got to do one thing that they can really talk about in future interviews or on their CV. One thing.
So having looked at the brochure online,
Oh yeah.
So they will all fly in from different places, is that right? Because they have to organise their own flights, is that right?
We organise the flights. So
you do?
those
Okay.
coming from the UK we will send out an admin letter. We have reached minimum numbers. This is the flight we all want you to get on. And you call Trailfinders, all dial a flight where we've got great contacts and you get a great service, and you say, I want that flight, please. Job done. Okay. Then we set up a WhatsApp group, and before they all go, we do a pre-departure video with me where I walk them through the itinerary, how much money they need to take, vaccinations, what to pack, you name it, go through all that. And then they all meet at the airport. And they're all
that's
incredibly
nice.
shy and really embarrassed, and it's really excruciating for them. And I feel their pain, but within 10 minutes, they're into it. And then they take the flight, and then as soon as they arrive the other end, go through customs, they're met by our team.
That sounds great. Yeah. Do you do paper copies of your brochure, or is it just online?
It's just online.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, no more paper. I know we all like to kind of read them in the bath.
I know.
It's another deliberation we have here. But as soon as we get them printed, they're out of date.
Yeah.
So yes. So what other questions? How else can I help while you've got me? Penny, I can't hear. What was that?
I was just looking at my daughter saying, "What do you reckon? Any questions?"
Where is she thinking? Is she thinking of the leap, or
She's
are
here,
you?
I don't know what-
Yeah. Is she thinking of the leap, or is she thinking of anything? Where are we at?
Well, we're an early stager as well, because she's a little bit of a busy head, and so
Yeah.
she's in year 12, so doing exams, hence.
Oh, okay. So you're a
paperwork.
year 12.
So, yeah. But yeah, no, we're thinking after A levels, obviously, and sort of planning ahead a little bit too much perhaps, but I like to get things organised.
No, it's really good, really good.
We're farmers, so it's impossible to organise anything else. If I get that in the diary, I know.
Oh, that's so satisfying. Can't control the weather.
No, quite.
No.
I can control my daughter at that point, though.
Yes. Yes. You can control what flight she's on, heading to what direction. Yeah, goodbye. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's going to be she had the opportunity of going to Mongolia, and that didn't float the boat, so that's why we've looked elsewhere, or we're looking elsewhere to see what would be more interest to her. So
well, we've got the under 18 trips, which we run in the summer, 2-week trips to Kenya. We've got space on that on the 26th of July. Huh?
She's got to earn some money for
yes. That old
this
thing.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw that there was some places, some things available for this summer, but yeah.
No, so you're looking for the gap.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, no, that's great.
No, thank you. It's been really interesting, and I can say with confidence now that what happens a little bit more as well. So that's good.
Yes. Yeah, you got the time frame in your head.
Yes.
Yeah, September the 1st, they need to have that job. Let me tell you, I've had two of them go through it. One of them was so bad at getting a job. And literally by the end of September, I was literally, no, this is, you're driving me mad. You're still on my sofa.
Yeah.
And you've eaten the contents of my fridge again. Oh,
that's great. Thank you.
That's my greatest pleasure. So if you need anything, you really, we are a lovely, small, cozy team here. There's Zoe, Tanya, myself, Kerry. She never answers the telephone. I keep telling her she should, but the rest of us, we love a chinwag. So just call. The old-fashioned telephone call. We love that.
Thank you. That all sounds
pleasure.
really great. So thank you.
That's my pleasure. And good luck to all of those students back there with their exams.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sophia, have you got any questions?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, all right. Cheerio.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Bye.